It's that time of the week where we check out how we've done in the AFL and get picking the next round. So let's see how we got on. So where's the best place to start? Well, it is round 12, of course. And the first point I'm going to make, I started really well and I finished really well. What happened in between is a little bit off, but the first game we had was Brisbane versus Essendon, and I did Brisbane to win by 25. They won by 18. They did plenty. They did enough. It's at the Gabba. They got that home advantage. So I get 1.5 points for that. Next game, it was the Pies versus Hawthorn. And I think my point that I've made the last couple of weeks about Hawthorn have been found out. Now that they're playing the top teams, they're not getting the results like they were against some of the weaker teams. And that showed. I did Collingwood by 25. They won by 51. So a pretty convincing win by the Pies there. They did, third gear. Third gear was enough for them. Then Gold Coast, or 1 point for that, sorry. Gold Coast versus Freo. I got it the other way round. I did Gold Coast to win by 10. Yeah, wrong way. The slider was on the wrong way because Freo went to Gold Coast and... turn them over. Pretty low scoring game considering. And this does still highlight the fact that Freo they're sitting in 8th place and they are a team that you just cannot call if they're going to win or lose. You don't know if they're getting off the bus. But they did win. They were only 7% of you voted for them to win as well. So crazy. Nothing for me. Then GWS versus Giants, and what a turnaround. What a comeback from the Giants. Now, not enough to get my close score, but Richmond threw this away. There is nothing else we can say other than Richmond threw it away because they were in the lead by quite some margin within the last quarter to go. Giants win, 1 point. Cool, decent, take that. And then, oh God, do we have to talk? Can we just skip this bit? Can we skip this bit, please? This was embarrassing. That's the best word. Embarrassing, a disgrace, shocking. And what was more funny, I'm not even going to talk about the score, and obviously I got nothing, but what I found was funny was they're parading all these ex-players and, celebrating them, and they put this performance on. Nothing. Let's just move on. This is what I was surprised about. D's versus Saints. I did D's to win by 34. Saints won by 28. But I was surprised because Melbourne have been improving, and this was a good chance for them actually to push up, to 9th place there, roughly. And Saints held back. Saints have not been convincing. They're on the same wins and losses against some D's now. But in recent weeks, D's have been hitting form. And as you can see by the predictions, again, the 6% went for Saints. So well done if you went for Saints, for sure. Well done. And then the last game, it is West Coast versus Geelong. Yeah, got this pretty much spot on. Geelong won by 43 and I picked 50. I think 73 actually is a score that could potentially win. I want to see if it could have won any games. 73. Okay, no, it couldn't win any games. Ignore me. Not an awful score from West Coast, but they're against the Cats team who's now sitting in 4th, doing really, really well. I do get 1.5 points because I was pretty bang on, close. So looking at the leaderboard, I do stress I am a bit gutted. However, it is just for fun. So it doesn't matter where I finish or where you finish. It's about joining in as a team. So looking at it then, top 10, Aussie Dylan's in top spot. DJD second, Stinky Pinky third. Up 2 is Warwick. Up 7, St. Jai. That's a good week for him. Up 4 into 6th is Graham B. Another good one. Well done. Swanee Steve still in 7th. Abel Van Tankeras up 3 into 8th. Magpie Paulie down 5 to 9th, and Hazza 17 down 2 into 10th. That is the top 10 for this week. I want to see any big movers. Okay, Aussie TV up 24 places. That's brilliant. Whoa, with the golden hat up 42 places. Specky, wow. That is very, very good. At this stage of the game, to be moving up that much, very, very impressive. Down 13, Ragnarok X. Down 12, Sans Pants. Up 12, Hazy. Down 14, Anti-Vax Hero. Ooh. Up 18, Blue Bull. And then up 17 is Hacksaw. Uh-oh. 85th spot, down 20. The Wooden Spoon goes to E-Bag 981. Ouch. Unlucky. Up 21, though, is Mr. Frio fan. That's decent. Down 21 is Ballistic. Where am I? Ooh, down 38 is Leonidas. Ouch, your mama. Down 15, Pat Logic. God, there I am. I am down 1. It just... Oh, I'm down 1. It's so depressing. I just want to go up. Let's see where everyone else finished then. There you go. We have reached the end of the table. Right, here it goes then. On to round 13. We start on Thursday, the 5th of June, Marvel Stadium. It is Bulldogs versus Hawthorn. Now, looking at this, Hawthorn have dropped 3 straight games. They have been against decent teams, and that's where they've struggled. They really, really have. Bulldogs, obviously, come off a rest week, so they do actually have that game in hand. So they should be a little bit more fresh, maybe. Hawks, they're missing key personnel, Captain James Sicily. Hip/abdomen injury out there. So he's out until mid-season. And forward Mitch Lewis remains sidelined as well. That's going to hurt for sure. Bulldogs, they do expect Adam Treloar back. Whether he comes back in this week or not, I don't know, but he is expected back. Then you got the whole thing of Marvel is kind of a home-ish turf for Bulldogs. I know they do have their other stadium, but the Hawthorn play there as well, though, so I don't think there's a home advantage. I think things are looking more up for Bulldogs. As I said, Bulldogs, when they have lost, you know, they don't lose by many, and they are still competing against these bigger teams, whereas Hawthorn, yeah, no, they have been crumbling against the bigger teams. So, look, on paper, I've got to give it to Dogs here. I've got to give it to Dogs. I'm going to go a Bulldogs win by 20. Let's go with that. Okay, next at the Oval on Friday the 6th, Adelaide Crows versus Brisbane Lion. Look at this. Both teams on very, very good form. This is second versus third. Now, Adelaide, they are on red hot form after demolishing Sydney. I don't want to talk about it anymore. That's all I'm going to say. But Brisbane also notching a solid 18-point win last week against a decent side. Crows are pretty much near full strength. Defender Tom Dodie is still working back from an ACL, so hasn't returned yet. So that's a bit of a loss. And Brisbane, however, have lost rebounding defender Kieran Coleman to a quad injury setback. So, yeah, that's a bit of a loss. Lions forward line is intact and firing, which is a positive for them, whereas Adelaide, they are relying on home crowd advantage at the Oval, aren't they, to offset kind of Brisbane's class. I still think Brisbane, on paper, have the better squad, the better players, but at the Adelaide Oval, you never know. That does seem to really influence some teams, that home advantage that you don't really get at the MCG, for example, because too many teams play there at home. Brisbane, they have occasional troubles on the road, but recent form does impress, and Premiership experience gives them the edge. So I know they're away from home. However, I'm going to give Brisbane the win. I think that draw and that loss has really kicked them into gear and hopefully fixed the problem. I'm going to do Brisbane by 10. Next up, Saturday 7th, MCG, Richmond versus Sydney. Look at that form. It is as bad as each other. Okay. Look, Richmond, they will be heartbroken, won't they, after that loss last week against Essendon. Embarrassing, really. They should not have let it go. It was Essendon. Now I'm double checking if it was Essendon. Anyway, correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free. Neither side is on good form, are they? Both confidence is probably absolutely shot from both teams, and they will be desperate to improve. Look, it's still not out of range being in the top 8. It is not. It is for Richmond, probably. Sydney, I've just got that tiny little bit of hope. Swans, look, we still remain undermanned. We still don't have Errol Golden, Tom Papley. Callum Mills does return from suspension, so that's a big boost. They do, Richmond, they do have Noah Bolter after a bit of a layoff, but still without Tom Lynch, which is also a huge loss. As I said, both teams losing some big players. Sydney's defence have been kind of on... I don't know. When they're settled, Sydney are difficult to score against. It's just when we're settled. Oh, God. Look, Swans to win this. Swans to win this. Whatever happened last week, we are still a better team than Richmond. Sydney by 6. Sydney by 6. Next up, at the litter tray, enjoy the new graphic as well. Geelong versus Gold Coast. This is an interesting one, isn't it? This is 4th versus 5th. And it's an interesting one. However, we know how dangerous Geelong are at home, right? The Cats, they've rediscovered some brilliant form, and they are in a groove, aren't they? Winning the last 2 games, including a victory over Bulldogs, which was very, very good victory because Bulldogs were on a decent form as well. Geelong might still be without Patrick Dangerfield. I'm not sure if he's back yet, though he is nearing a return if he doesn't come back. So that's a positive boost around the corner for them, even though, that it's just all that's going to do is just, keep them in the top 4 probably. It's at the litter tray, so there's that huge home advantage. They really do seem to capitalise quite often on that home advantage. They don't lose often at home. Gold Coast, they've struggled historically in Victoria, and I don't see it being any different. I do not see it being any different. So, Geelong win here by 23. Don't know why. 23. It can be anything, can't it, in AFL? With all those behinds, especially if you're Sydney, you get a lot of behinds. Next, Manuka Oval in... Someone's going to be like, it's not how you pronounce it. It's Manuka, or something like that. I don't know, whatever. GWS versus Port. Port, 4-game losing streak. Giants, incredible fight back to win against Tigers last week. They probably shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. But that was really, really gritty performance to win, wasn't it? Giants did cop a blow with Callum Ward suffering a serious knee injury in round 12. But they should regain some confidence with the victory that they got. Port regain a few players, Darcy, Byron Jones, for example. They still do not have Todd Marshall, which is a season-ending Achilles, which you got to feel bad for him. Achilles, not good. I've had double Achilles tendonitis, painful, very painful, and it's worse probably. It's being played in Canberra, secondary home for the GWS Giants, so familiar conditions for them. I just got no confidence in Port. No confidence. They were so good last year and they have completely fallen apart this year. They really, really have. So unless it's a surprise spark that they get away from home, it's got to be a GWS win, doesn't it? So GWS win. Screw it. Let's do 20 as well. 20 as well. I don't see it being an absolute mauling, but it will be a win. Okay, next. Hands Oval. Apparently. I've got to find a graphic for that. Sunday the 8th, North versus West Coast. So once again, it is 18th versus 17th. At least North have won twice and drawn once. So that's a positive for them. So, look, this could go either way. West Coast have shown a few signs of improving, but not enough, in my opinion. Whereas North have been plucky. They've been unfortunate in certain games as well, not to get the result. Yes, Hands Oval in Western Australia. Why? Wonder why. And North of the designated home tip. I don't understand that. That is weird. Whatever. Right, let's just go with it. North to win here. North to win by 14 points. I've got no logic because I don't really know this one. This one is a nothing game really, and anyone can win it. And I don't understand why it's in West. Anyway, whatever. Okay, next game, MCG, Carlton versus Essendon. Now, yeah, Essendon up and down, Carlton up and down for sure. Carlton in 13th place, Essendon in 10th. Carlton certainly underperforming, haven't they, relative to expectations? They've managed just 4 wins in 2025. That is not good enough. Losing 3 of the last 4 games. Blues offence has misfired for sure. And they're very wasteful. Very, very wasteful. So that's letting them down big time. I think Bombers still without Jake Stringer, which is a shame, yet they have enough young contributors to step up, I think. I think I'm going to go with Bombers. This is a game that really could go either way, but I am going to go with Bombers here. This is a traditional MCG rivalry that they're going to host. So, yeah, Essendon. Screw it, Essendon. Essendon by 15. I haven't done any big scores this week. All right, last game. 9th. It might change now. MCG. Okay. Melbourne versus Collingwood. This is, like I said, that was such a weird result last week because the D's have all of a sudden started really kicking into gear. And look at their form. Only 2 lost in the last 7. It's just a shame they lost so many at the start of the season, didn't it? Melbourne's form certainly has improved, bar last week. After overcoming that horrendous start to the season, they have pulled those strings of wins together, haven't they? A string of wins together. Whereas Collingwood, they're flying top of the league, doing really, really well. Demons have been dealt a blow, though. Co-captain Jack Viney, silent fractured hand. Can't get it out, which you do not want in a game of AFL, do you? They'll also be missing Aidan Johnson. It's the King's birthday on Monday, apparently. I don't know if it is actually his birthday. I don't think it's his actual birthday, but it's just like a bank holiday type day. That's why they're playing on Monday. I just think, look, it should be a decent, exciting, fun game. Surely I just cannot see Collingwood, who just seem to relish these big occasions recently. I cannot see Pies losing. With people like Nick Dacos and things, yeah. With Dacos, I think the thing is, Dacos I don't think has played amazingly, but what it has done is made others step up, which is nice to see. Although we don't like Collingwood winning, let's be honest, Collingwood should win on paper. So Pies to win by 36. So the summary: Bulldogs by 20, Lions by 10, Swans by 6. Please, I'm not even religious, but come on. Geelong by 23, Giants by 20, North by 14, Essendon by 15, and Collingwood by 36. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. Last week's watch along was painful because, it was painful. I just sat there wanting to give up. I wanted to turn the stream off and just get back into bed and forget all about it. But I persevered, even though Pierogi the cat did step on the off button and I did have to restart the stream. He's such a sod. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Please like, subscribe, do all those things, and I will catch you next time.